younger sibling is that you get fun things like tree houses even when you're 19. As such, I have taken possession of my brother's treehouse because I wanted to make a video. Because I've actually been getting out of the house in the past week and it's been really nice, and I felt like I needed to tell you about that. Recently I experienced 3 exciting cultural event type things which I would like to tell you about because they were awesome. Number 1, last Wednesday I went with a friend to the independent cinema in my city, which is one of my favorite places in my city and one of the only places I'll really truly miss when I go away to university. We went to see Woody Allen's new film called Midnight in Paris, and I just want to say it was glorious. Sorry, make that glorious. There's so much I could say about this movie, but I don't really want to reveal too much about the plot because the thrill of discovering what happens is a large part of the fun of the movie. But I can tell you that it's set in Paris and it's gorgeous in a way that is different to Amélie Poulain. If you've seen Amélie Poulain, you know that that is one of the most beautiful movies ever made, but it's beautiful in a very different way. Amélie Poulain is bigger, brighter, bolder, larger than life, and this amplification makes the ordinary really quite extraordinary in the film. Whereas in Midnight in Paris, the ordinary is still beautiful, but it's beautiful in a very ordinary way, if that makes any sense. Mosquito! Yeah. In addition to the lovely cinematography, I have to say that I loved the moral that came out of it. The theme of the movie, I guess, is nostalgia, and that we look back on previous times through rose-colored glasses. And the movie comes to the realization that our dull, ordinary now is in fact what will become idealized and rose-colored in 50, 100, 150 years. Concluding that, of course, we should appreciate the now that we live in because that's what we have. And I really like that moral because I am a big fan of enjoying the now, even if sometimes it's difficult. Cultural activity number 2. Last Friday was Saint-Jean-Baptiste Day, which is the national holiday in Quebec. And yes, Quebec is not a country, but they still have a national holiday because they're a nation, apparently. So around Saint-Jean-Baptiste there was a music festival in my region, and on Thursday I went to see this group that a bunch of my friends like called Les Cowboys Fringants. Now, it rained pretty much all day Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, so needless to say the concert was a little bit wet. I say a little bit, I mean a lot. It was very wet. But, you know, it's part of the fun. Anyway, back to the music. I didn't really know the group beforehand. I knew a couple of their songs by virtue of hanging around with Francophone people who like the music, but I wouldn't have called myself a fan. However, after the concert, that changed. You can say what you like about the Québécois, but one thing is true, they know how to have a good time. The energy was just great. It was so happy and proud of who they are, proud of the music, and the music was so rousing and celebratory of life, and it was just great. It was so much fun. Finally, cultural item number 3. I went to another concert yesterday. It was at a local restaurant, brewery, pub type thing. It was just a very small group called Treehouse Culture. They're from Quebec. Everyone I go see is from Quebec because there's not really any other good music in Canada. Okay, that's not true. There is good stuff like Feist, but I feel like most of the really good music that I like in Canada comes out of Quebec. But that's a discussion for another time. Back to the concert. It was quite a contrast to the Cowboy Fringant concert in that it was inside, it was all very civilized, we sat down with our little drinks and they played on a little stage. But the energy was still really great. They're a wonderful group, so much fun, so happy, joie de vivre, piano, lovely melodic music. And that was fun because I actually do know their music, so it was really nice to see some of my favorite songs played live. Anyway, I could probably talk more about Quebec and culture and why the Quebec music is interesting and Quebec cinema is interesting, but you know what, we're not going to get too introspective. I just wanted to tell you about those cool things that I did, and share those 3 things that I think you should check out: Midnight in Paris, Les Cowboys Fringants, and Treehouse Culture. Meanwhile, I'm going to go play in the treehouse.